Oh, hey, before things get physical, let's talk about sexual health. It's important to me. I'm positive for HSV1 or HSV2. Anything I should know about your sexual health in case we move forward is probably the best disclosure. And I've got probably the most common question being, how do I disclose? How do I tell someone? When do you tell them? What do I do? How do I tell someone? I'm so scared. What will they say to me? I can't deal with the rejection. I get it. I've been there too. And I really think that back to the whole brainwashing video is that human beings don't really do what should be done. And what should be done is we have a conversation about sexual health before you have sex instead of after, where it's like, okay, let's do it. Okay, that was fun. Yeah, so I have chlamydia, gonorrhea, syphilis, HIV, and HSV. Enjoy. Like, I don't want any of those things. And I think that human beings are more concerned with thinking down here than thinking up here. And that's okay. And that's why you might have to like completely, what's that word? Pathfind, pioneer, trailblaze. That's the word. Trailblaze a new way of disclosure, which is taking control of the conversation, discussing sexual health with your partners before you guys get physical, and gauging their reaction. Because there is simply, is that a fish? There is simply no disclosure script that's going to convince someone who does not want to date you to date you. I wish there was. If there was, I would sell it to you for thousands of dollars. You know, the perfect disclosure script to manipulate someone, and it doesn't actually exist. In terms of timing, it doesn't actually exist. But I do believe that, hey, before things get physical, let's talk about sexual health. And you almost have to have an air of confidence that's either natural or faking it, and almost, preemptively, I always try to use big words. You should presume that your partner has these conversations, and you should expect them to understand HPV, super duper common, herpes, super duper common, cold sores, super duper common. You should expect them to already understand about these risks as a sexually active adult, because the risks are there, whether we know it or not. And you almost have this air of arrogance or confidence where, hey, why don't you know about these things? Like, I know my status. Yeah, I have it. Do you have it? Do you have anything else? Have you been tested ever? And I know a lot of guys have never been tested for STIs at all. I didn't have a huge amount of partners, but I've never got an STI check until I got herpes. Now, luckily, I had nothing else, which was good. But I think that this is the best way to disclose. And whether you're a guy or whether you're a girl when it comes to disclosing, you can gauge their reaction. If they're going to come up and say, oh, that's a little bit of an uncomfortable topic. Well, if STIs and sexual health is an uncomfortable topic, why isn't sex an uncomfortable topic, bro? Put it back in your pants. Or if they're like HSV, what's that? And you're like, oh, it's herpes. Now, this has to come from you being totally okay with saying the word. The first time you utter the word herpes out loud cannot be from your disclosure. You literally have to, if it takes a daily, affirmation, go in the mirror, say, I have herpes. I have genital herpes. I've got HSV. Get so comfortable with talking about it, then it can just come off of your tongue so easily. And I truly believe that part of my thing was like starting every TikTok video with I have herpes, or just getting so used to saying the word. And it's just practice makes perfect, repetition. Just like how you do reps in the gym, you get better at that. The first time, oh my God, how do I do a bench press? But now it's like you have the muscle memory. And you can have the muscle memory up here to talk about the word herpes. Because I think a lot of people are like, I do not have herpes, put it over here, the H word. Because I've genuinely had conversations with people where they're like, I've never said the word out loud. And I'm like, you should probably do that 17,000 times so that you're so comfortable saying the word, regardless of what the other person's perspective is going to be, you'll be okay. So get very, very comfortable talking about herpes out loud to yourself. And then reframe your disclosure into a mutual conversation about sexual health and realize that everybody will not date you. The people who are mature, the people who are aware of these things, the people who understand that it should be something that's talked about and they should be grateful that you're letting them know in a world where there's so much lack of disclosure, despite people knowing they have it. And if they're still turned off or they're still uninformed or ignorant, you don't get to date them. And if someone respectfully rejects you, that's okay. We got to deal with that. We can separate the rejection from herpes and just isolate the two and be like, okay, this person just isn't compatible with me, I guess, based on herpes statuses. And that's okay. I still have all these things to offer. And if you don't burn the bridge with these people and say, all right, that's fine. Like, if you have any questions for me, like, let me know. Or if you want to go do some research and come back to me, let me know. But if not, like, no hard feelings. Totally understand. And then you can go home and cry. But, like, having this air of not a pity party, not a confession, not breaking down in tears, it's going to allow you to have a much more successful disclosure and a dating life. So use that to your advantage. Reframe your confession. Look at the way you've previously disclosed. Turn it into a conversation about sexual health. If you want some help getting to the point where you're totally comfortable with your diagnosis, no more shame, no more stigma, able to talk about it openly, build yourself back up, the link in my description is a link to my coaching service. Fill the short form out on my website. I'll reach out to you personally and see if we're a good fit. See you guys in the next video.